Om Shanti. So that's what I talk about. Self-awareness, right? That word in itself is like a book, isn't it? And each word. So, so I was thinking, well, everyone uses it quite often, don't they? Self-awareness. We hear it a lot, but what does it actually mean, And so it means I exist. So what? I exist. I am here, am I? So what does all that mean? So self-awareness, I am, I exist, Om Shanti, all these words. So I am peace, Shanti, so I'm a soul. So self is consciousness. That's the first step. Just even under consciousness is nothing. You can't explain consciousness because it doesn't exist in the sense of this reality. So that's what I am. I am consciousness. That's why we say sometimes I'm soul conscious or I'm body conscious. So the consciousness wants to become aware. It has an experience through the soul or through the human. And not that one's any better or any worse. It's just experiencing. I think that's what all our lives have been about. Not just this one, but every single lifetime. That this life we're in now happens to be the chosen one of all lifetimes. Just think it's the life we're in and we've chosen to be here at this time. So important, that understand what's going on. It's the greatest shift era in humanity that's never experienced anything like this before. No matter how many wars or whatever, that's nothing compared to this. This is a total shift, a brand new. So we're all going to have to die from the old world in that sense. Not everyone will, but that's where the shift will come in. So that's the big break in consciousness for some. Don't want to leave, wars and famine and fighting and all these sort of things. They want to live, they like that. So they're still enjoying that. And there's those who are sick of it. So we want a world where we can have a rest and enjoy ourselves, have picnics every day and whatever you want. Enjoy your family and just have a life, I mean, we didn't have to have all this deep experiences of deep sorrow and opposite ends of everything, duality, but it was all part of the deal. So it's like we're all divine beings. Just think consciousness. I exist. It became aware. So when you become aware that I exist in consciousness, don't even know about love or nothing, you just want to know what am I, who am I? And that's where energy come to serve consciousness. Energy is just communication. So when we're communicating with each other, we're exchanging energy, even if I'm constantly talking at you. So, but still, you'll be given a nod here or there or whatever. But that's energy exchange, that's what it is. So, and that's serving consciousness, it's serving your consciousness. So, and then it's where the soul come in. So the soul is just soul's light. And that was created by consciousness. So through energy, so energy and consciousness created this beautiful light, which is a tool called the soul. So hello, welcome. So yeah, so the tool of consciousness is the soul. Soul. Hello. So yeah, so the soul is there and it's there for us, for imagination, So because when we have imagination, you're always creating. So the soul, the consciousness has created soul through energy. So soul is light and consciousness is creating through soul, and then it's also creating through a human. Soul needed something to experience through, because I mean, if you're just light, you can't experience anything if you're just light. So then the human was created, and they started experiencing after some time who we might have been experiencing through trees, rocks, volcanoes, water, everything. But eventually we come to this where we're experiencing through a human. And so we've been in many forms like male, female, mums, dads, kids, all the rest. We've been through the whole lot. We've been for thousands of years experiencing different births, different places. Maybe we're caught up in some change of some people caught up in the wars all the time, or they're always experiencing war. So their soul becomes like that, very tough. And so Baba sometimes says you can have a pure soul or a happy soul or a sad soul, or a violent soul, corrupted. But it's not really, it's just an experience. And it depends on the human when it says, stop it, I've had enough. I don't want any more wars. Until they say that, they keep experiencing those things. So when you say, I've had enough work, that's it. Well, I don't know who's going to go to work for me, but anyway, but eventually that's when the soul starts to work, but you don't have to work so hard, until you decide you forget hard work. I don't want to do any more hard work. That's it. I want to enjoy life. And it's a conscious decision made by the human. See, human has its own consciousness, but it doesn't have, and it's never going to become a divine being. Human is a living consciousness, and it has a soul in it, but the soul's actually not who I am, the human. The human is by itself. It's like the car, and the soul is like the driver in a car driving it around. And consciousness is, that part that's driving everything. So it's experiencing everything. So, and the car, if it's been well looked after, well maintained by the soul, by the driver, the owner, then it can last a whole lifetime if you wanted it to, isn't it? Until you get, some people want to get a nice new car because it looks better, but really it does the same job, isn't it? Whether it's an old car or a new car, it gets you from A to B. So, and so that's what we're doing. So having that awareness, that self-awareness is really starting to find out who you are, but through the human, and the human with all his experiences over many, many, many lifetimes has been gathered, and it's in the soul. And the soul, and with all your emotions, is now expressing that. And that's where that light body's coming from. And we always talked about chakras, chakras, this, that, and the next thing. That's another communication form for the human while we're in a human body. But now, when the soul is creating this new light energy body, chakras won't be needed anymore. So chakras will be not out the window, they'll be still there. But we'll be using this light body with the communication of soul and the human instant. So you could have a car crash and you could do damage to your ankle, but you don't feel it for 2 weeks, or your knee or arm or something. All other bad damages you feel further up the list, and picks the last bits out after you're ready to accept some more pain. And pain and sicknesses are all part that I choose. It's not thrown on me, it's something I create for myself. So whether you're happy or sad, who can we blame? The next door neighbor, because they're making a lot of noise. But it's like, it's all about being it's always about that soul consciousness, and soul presence. So that's why I'm doing this new program about soul presence. So the more we are present in this presence, and then the resonance is there, you'll see magic has changed. Your whole life will change. It'll become so enjoyable, and people won't worry anymore. So because you'll understand that they're over there and I'm here. So, and they're doing their thing and I'm doing my thing. It's the same with my mind. You have to make sure you're not, the mind you can't stop. You don't want to stop your mind because then they might lock you away or something. But the whole thing is the mind is there, but it's going to learn from you in your new consciousness, that the soul is now. It's through the master. See, that light body that's been created around me is all my experiences, all my emotions, and the soul's created. That's my light body. See, so now the human can create and can communicate to the light body because the light body has had all experiences. See, the human can understand that, but the soul can't. You can't have direct communication with the soul. That's before the soul was sitting in the back seat and the human was running around banging itself and going to war and doing all sorts of things. And the soul was just absorbing all the experiences and all its sicknesses and a million ways to die, whatever it was. So it was experiencing all these things. And it wasn't all bad. We had a lot of fun. Somewhere along the line, we must have had some fun. Otherwise, we wouldn't be smiling now today. So the whole thing, all these things are there, and that's what's created your light body. That's your master body. So we're all master beings. So we're masters inside the human. So we're a master embodied in the human, not an embodied master, but the other way. Once you become the master of yourself, then you're a master embodied. Other way around, before we were an embodied master. So it's like you're in prison, but once you're out of prison, then you're still driving your car the way you want to drive it. And so it's really important just to understand that you're responsible for everything in your life. It's pretty tough for people, isn't it? And I think, oh, I quite like the government looking after me, or I've got all this money and I don't have to worry about it, but my parents won't allow me to spend anything, so whatever. You're under the control of your family line or your ancestors. So, but to be free means to be free of all of those, it has a self-awareness. So once you become fully aware, you'll be fully present, and then you will be the master in this human form. Then then you don't have to say anything. You just be happy, You don't have to do anything. You're not going to be flying around the room. You don't have to save the world. The world's going to look after itself. It always has, So, and people created certain parts of the world. You take all those wars in Africa and all those wars everywhere. They're all there for the people that's created them. That are involved in it. And if you get tied up in it, then you are also part of it. So it's going on. You're just aware, okay, there's a war over there or whatever, but I don't have to be part of it. That's their game. I'm having my game, walking around my track around the back here, enjoying myself on the sunny day. Tides in or out, I don't care. So nothing matters in the end. But the only thing that matters is what's that? What's the only thing that matters? I just said the answer. Nothing. Nothing matters. Because nothing, that's it, isn't it? Nothing matters. If you're worried about all sorts of things and nothing ever happens, you've wasted all that energy and all that time and got yourself sick or whatever, and it's nothing's ever happened. It's wonderful. But that's all part of learning. So it's like you can never done anything wrong and you've never done anything right. So all we're doing is keep on experiencing until you think that's enough. I've had enough sort of dying at war. I don't want to do that anymore, or I've had enough, whatever. And then I just want to change. I want to stop all that. I want to become free now. I want to become master of myself, and that's where that self-awareness comes about. Once we can let go of all that, self-awareness is natural. You don't have to study. You don't have to do anything. That's what soul presence is. So you'll become present with your consciousness. So you become soul conscious, means to be present, consciously present. So I'm aware. And you don't have to make any effort for that. That's why we sit for an hour of silence. And it doesn't matter if you go to sleep or it just means you are still there consciously. You've chosen to be there consciously present for 1 hour. And you can do that anytime. Every time you take a breath, just say and you can be present, just say I choose to be present. So when you breathe and one special breath, then you can be present. So consciousness is such a wonderful thing, but it's Einstein. The only thing is it changes when consciousness changes when you realize consciousness is there, and that's consciousness doesn't have anything. You can't even explain consciousness, but that's who we are. We're nothing what we think in the physical. There's a tool for us to experience. The soul is a tool for consciousness as well. So, but the soul can actually move on. It can go to another birth, to another body, and still live where consciousness can carry on and have another different experience. That's another different point, but that's a new point. But that's still, once you've created something, it doesn't get destroyed. It continues to live. Every thought, if you keep having that thought, that same thought, that's creation, and it'll continue to live. So. And so that's the thing. Nothing, once it's been created, doesn't get destroyed, until it comes back home. Like sometimes we create thoughts or aspects, we call them, of ourselves. You say, oh, I wonder what's going to happen like 50 years from now, and I can plan for that, when you're young. So you send a part of yourself out there, and it's trying to come back home again to tell you, but you think, oh, I've been attacked by some ghost or whatever. And then it gets angry, then it gets worse and worse, you see. So it gets really angry. It's gone from sort of, a little bit off color, then it gets grey, and then it becomes black. It really gives you a hard time. But they just want to come home to their creator, to their mum and dad. You're the mum and dad of all those creations that we've created. We think it's some evil spirit or something like that, but it's not. It's my own creation. So, and aspects, what we think, my God, it traps so many people, even with everyone, all of us it's not that anyone's free from anything, it's just how it is. But when you understand it, when you have that awareness that, oh, I've created all that stuff. So it's just energy, isn't it? My creation is just an energy. It's not even if it's the biggest dragon in the world is going to come and blow your head off with a big fireball, but you can just walk straight through it. It's just energy. It's there to try and give you fear. And we've created our own fear through religions and war and all sorts of rubbish that's been fed to us by religions and schools and educations and all sorts of things. How to have much fear as you want. We don't want any fear, do you? Because sometimes people feel, oh, they want to do something, but then they feel, oh, I don't feel good about that. But why do you feel like that? You wanted to do something. That's because of your programming over many, many lifetimes. Might be somewhere on your family line that my grandma said not to do things like that, so I'm not allowed to do that. But she's not living your life. You in your life. She lived her life in the way she wanted to. So that's just how it's no one's fault. It's just that we have to wake up. You don't have to do anything actually. When you wake up, that's what happens. You start to see, my God, look at my family line. They all look like me. Then you think, oh, well, then you can renounce them so that you become free. That's what Bob was saying. You actually go into a new world. There's a new world coming. So everything of the old world you're moving away from, isn't it? So once you have a new consciousness, you're going to move away from all the old things. Beautiful. Some people get scared of it though, but they don't realize the biggest, scariest thing is this world today. But when you can break free of this world today, that means a very, very big thing. That means everything of the old cannot be there with you in a new world. So what is it that's I'm attached to? You live in the world, you love everything, but you're not attached to it. You know what I mean? So you're going to live in this world, enjoy this world, be in this world. But if you have to go suddenly, then there's no deal, it's no big deal. So you won't be sad. And because you're going to a better world. Because this world will stay, if this world stays most of consciousness of humanity stays in a warlike state of consciousness where they like all that sort of bad stuff, they will stay here, and there'll be like a different dimension where people will move to. So those who have consciousness to live and joy and happiness and are like a utopia. So, and those worlds already been created actually. So ready for the big move. So, but you'll see in another 8 years, this world or whatever world we choose to be in. It might means half your family could be in this world, the other half could be with you, or could be in whatever they choose. Because we're all souls and we're all consciousness with a soul. And so whatever we choose, that's what we're going to be doing. Oh, I thought that. Yes, so that's how it is. So it's so exciting now. It's like it's just every day there's so many wonderful things happening, so many incredible inventions, and so many things are doing. And oh, that's good. Yeah, so when you think what they can do, I downloaded something the other day. I'm going to make it and see how it goes. But you got this little motor, and it creates enough power for you and your neighbours. You know, this tiny little thing costs a couple $100 to make. Put it together, and it just generates this power, and you can run all your power and stuff on it. So I'm going to put it together, see how it goes. Bob and What did you spend all that money on that for? I'm going to try and become independent of power next. That's my next project. I've got to be doing something, you know. I can't sit there doing nothing. So and then we could save money on power, you know. So it won't matter. I could run the heater on a 30 degrees or what, but it's too hot then. Then I'll need to put on the cooler, wouldn't I? But anyway, those things that we can learn to do, but they've got all those abilities. In 1950, that was first invented, but all these big people have been keeping it secret, you know, so they know all those things, energy. You can make also water as well from just air, you know, from fog. They can make also water from that, pure water, pure drinking water. So all these things they can do already. So it's just that they think humanity's not ready for that. Because you could imagine suddenly everyone's healthy. Imagine how many people will be out of work. Just so many people, wouldn't it? And suddenly everyone becomes good, and there's all the lawyers, and you know, you won't need anything. Anyone who's a professional won't have a job, basically. So they'll be out of work. So you can see how they didn't want to bring it until humanity's ready at that time. And now you can see how AI is taking over so many different jobs because that's what it's been invented for, you know, is to increase the ability of our intellect. So because we reached the limit of our brain, you know, so we needed an extra brain, which the AI is. So when you're born, you'll have a part of the AI with you when you're born next. It's just the same. It's not like a soul. It's no different. It's just energy. So people think it's something like that. The human is it's just biological, isn't it? So it's made up of matter. So what's the difference? So it's just something to live in. We'll still have feelings because we've created all these programs we're doing in this lifetime, many, many lifetimes. So all those programs will still be there when you're taking birth. Even if the soul decides to go into a robot even, still it'll be intelligent and sentient and everything. So it's just that it won't be breaking down. You won't have sore legs or whatever. You better run all the way to Wellington and back. Put on a couple of new legs when you get back, whatever you need. So, but anyway, we'll be just suddenly emerging there. Oh, hey, are you waiting on the others to come with it? Oh, oh, that's okay. So you can see, I mean, I've been studying I've used the Brahma Kumaris as like a womb for my birth, you know. So Brahma Kumaris that for the last 40 odd years, just going through and doing what I've ever been doing. And before that, even, you know, I was going through the spiritual awakening and experiencing, and it's now like I've taken a rebirth, you know, it's like I've died from all of that way. So now I'm born, I'm like a baby in the sense, so I'm learning all these things. It's the same with AI, you know, so it's the same. It's going to be a whole new world where we're taking a new birth and we're going to be learning. So learning how to be happy constantly, as Bob said, everything will be constant. So and it has to be done now. You're taking birth now. You can't. It's sort of opened up my eyes with it. When people think, oh, we'll all be going to the golden age, but then you go home, but then you come back. How are you going to go there? But you're taking birth now. now is your time to take birth as a deity, you know. So it's not necessarily on a physical level, but it's definitely on a conscious level. So my consciousness is experiencing everything of this world and is choosing to stay here on this world and to live through the human, whatever consciousness. But you'll find that the human will get healthier and healthier when you start to learn to live through the human as a conscious being, you know. And when that master is there within you and you're aware of it and you are driving the car instead of the human having to drive the car everywhere, and you'll see the magic that starts coming. So, because we don't have to wait, because we are the advanced party. I used to think we'll all go home, but then we are the advanced party of the new world, you know. That's what we've been doing all the time. So you're an advanced party. So have a good day at work today. Good. Cool. Yeah. So awareness, how has your awareness changed while going to work or at home or whatever you're doing in your everyday life? You know, since you get to know about consciousness, where I come from and who am I, and how I see others and how am I living in this world? How is it affecting you much at all, RJ?
Sorry,
Does it affect you, you know, this being aware of yourself as being
yes,
conscious
definitely,
and others?
because awareness is, I think, the first step of self-realization,
Mm,
learning about yourself and then improving on yourself.
yeah,
So once there is self-awareness, then one can take the next steps.
yeah, that's right. And you can usually learn by looking in the mirror, but the mirror is not your face in the mirror, it's looking at someone else, and they'll tell you where you're at, because that's the best way. All around you is a mirror, you know, and when you look at anything, it will mirror back to you what your state of consciousness is. And so if someone's not looking very happy and giving you a hard time, then you have to look at yourself. Why is that person doing that? So not blaming yourself, but I'm saying you just observing how am I seeing that table, for instance, in the middle of there? How do I think about that table? You know, it's reflecting back to me, my consciousness, how I look at it, you know, how I see things and how am I in the world, you know. So how's it in the classroom for you?
Yeah, I think it's I'm calmer. I'm reacting less to
To them horrible kids. I mean, yeah, that's
yeah,
Yeah.
the outside
Mm.
influences.
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely is. And then you can just remind yourself, this is you don't have to get involved in all this.
yeah, they just kids can play the best games, isn't it? I was one once.
Yes.
Yeah, you remember games you used to play? They're just mind games, aren't they? True.
Today's kids are way smarter, and I think they're not scared of anything. There's no fear.
Yeah.
There's no
That's right.
there's just not how we were, or even say 10 years ago.
Yeah,
They are far more. Like they'll say, I don't want to do this and that. That's it.
they don't do it.
And then they don't do it.
Oh, that sounds like me when I was a kid. Said you get a whack.
Yeah, but now you
Yeah, that's
you
right.
can practice. Please do
Yeah,
not to.
yeah, that's right. It's such a different world. Imagine in another 20 years, imagine or 10 years, the kids are going to be absolutely even more different, you know. Yeah. See little babies born now, they're probably looking at you and going, wow, you mean I got to live with that sort of people? You know, that they're really smart.
They're smart, and I don't think they need to. I think 10 years down the line, they don't really need to learn to read and write like the way we.
Yeah.
I don't think they don't really see the value in
Be-
actually writing.
Yeah. Because people don't realize, you know, when you're on the phone and AI and all that, that's go through with you as a kid. when you take birth. So it's natural, you know, that's what AI is for, is to extend the intellect of the human because we reached our end. So when you take birth, you have that AI extension there, automatically built in. It's a little chip in there that you can't see.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, it's great, isn't it, to be alive at this time? No, I wouldn't be dead for goods. So you've only come a couple of times, but how are you feeling, Michelle?
And I can like enjoy the moment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, that's good. So you get on with yourself okay now?
Yeah.
That's good.
Great.
How old's your boy that's with?
15.
15. Oh, he'll be good testing. Oh, he shouldn't be too bad now though.
Good boy.
Yeah.
It doesn't give me too much hard time.
Yeah.
Only,
Yeah.
yeah.
As long as he gets what he wants, he'll be right. As long as he gets what he wants, you'll be right. Yeah. Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah, that's right.
Enjoy your college life.
Actually, yeah, that's one of the best things you could advise. And my mother said to me, just go to school to enjoy yourself. Well, I thought, it's funny, isn't it, to say a thing like that? But I did. That's what I did. In my last year at school, I had such a good time at school. I mean, I was a prefect at school. I was in the first 15. I was a champion sportsman in athletics and swimming. So I had such a good year. You know, I didn't learn much, but I still was a good student. You know?
Who is last year is the best
Yeah.
year, right?
Yeah. I was only 16 then when you think about it, you know. So didn't have to go to work after that. Get the nail bag on, learn how to be a carpenter. So, but it was such an interesting life though. It was good. I had to work. I didn't have to sit around for that. You have to earn it. You know what I mean? You don't. It just doesn't come to you. So, but I was sort of naturally in my mind, I could do that. Whatever I wanted to think, I used to be able to do it. You know. So, but school didn't enjoy it. It didn't have much to do with me. I thought, oh, there must be something better in life than that. But now I found it. Mm, yeah, that's a good one. Yes, it's and when now we understand that we create everything. If children can actually understand that, you know, that whatever they're thinking, if they have a, you know, if they can understand sooner than rather than later, that whatever they're doing or yelling and screaming is they're going to experience that through their body, you know, in their form of sickness or aches and pains, and it manifests in different ways. So, and so many other things that they know now, you know, that on the mental level,
Yeah.
and we're just going through that change, you see. So human beings have to go through all those beautiful changes. It seems like a pretty bad, horrific thing that's going on. Say, oh, you know, 20 years ago was such a great life, you know. But I was thinking about that today, and I was thinking, because they're talking about it a little bit on Talkback. Sometimes I'll put on Talkback to see what they're talking about, and they're talking about those things, and I was thinking, no, in the 80s it was terrible, you know, compared to today. Today is really interesting, you know. I mean, we had nothing in those days or in the 80s. So, well, nothing that was interesting. And no one knew what was going on in the world. They just brainwash you with so much rubbish. We just like a whole lot of cattle or sheep running around together, you know. But truly, nowadays people can understand things. They go, oh, wow, look at that. I don't like that, you know. So, and they have a choice. So now people get up in arms when the politicians are playing games with your head, you know. Now people are becoming a bit smart. So, yeah, so it's such a wonder because we've been through all the religions and non-religions and wars and from Genghis Khan and all the way through and First World War, Second World War, and poor old China, and they had all their wars with the landlords and who were going to be the first emperor, you know. So many multi-millions of people killed just because of 5 people. It's amazing. And then the Second World War, First World War, Second World War, and then Stalin, and well, I don't know how many millions of people he starved to death, but anyway, I think it makes you wonder how we even have a population on the earth, isn't it? When you think, but still people are there, and they go tour around the world and go to America and South America and kill off all the Indians, and then they go to India and they kill off another 40 million or something. That's just horrible. You know, they go to Australia and all the Aboriginals and New Zealand, they try to do the same with the Maoris. So. But anyway, it's a wonderful, interesting journey, isn't it? When you think this whole earth is about learning and whatever's going on. If you're set in your ways and you're not changing and you're stuck, somehow something comes along to move you, you know. So, and the whole world was sort of stuck at that time. All those times you'll see the world was stuck, and after that it became a little bit freer then, because the wars create energy, and energy is part of what we need for change, you know. It's like the wars that are in the world now, the big ones. You'll see the energy they've created, but the whole thing is you'll see people's consciousness shift. Now they have a different consciousness about war. They say, look, all these people are just dying for no reason, and yet 2 or 3 people are responsible for all that. It's stupid. It's absolutely ridiculous, isn't it? And yet the people are still there doing it. You think that, well, what you fight against it, you're better off getting shot than going to war and getting, you know, at least you get dead nicely, not with your legs blown off, whatever. But anyway, so the whole thing is, it's like you can just see the energy in the world is for the world's benefit. But you don't have to get tied up with it. That's where consciousness and awareness comes in now. Once you're aware, you're not part of that anymore. You've moved away. That's their world. You're in your world now. See the difference? So when you don't even have to read the news, you don't have to do anything. In fact, you're better off not to read the news. You probably find you haven't missed a single thing anyway. They're just a whole lot of rubbishy stories. So, and even if they're wrong, it doesn't matter. Soon someone will come along and fix it up. So, and there's no wrong anyway. So, only experiencing. So, but it's such it's like we've had like in nearly 90 years our organisation's been in, and it's like it's changed a lot when it was first started and to what it is today, you know, because people are more aware, you know, like if people are still living like 80 years ago and we're still practicing what they were practicing then, you're stuck, you know, you're stuck in time, you know, so, and you can only get the same benefits maybe then as what they used to get then as they are now, you know, but people, you find very hard for people to, you know, come close because you're still stuck way back 80 years ago and they want to be somewhere in the modern time, you know, of thinking, of awareness, of consciousness, and how to live a life and not to be bullied around by someone that's trying to tell you what to do, because soul needs to know itself. It's responsible for itself, not to be bullied by anyone else. So it will be bullied by religions and all our families and ancestral lines all the way down. So they're just like big bullies, and we were part of that. And we were probably started it all. But the whole thing is, it's like now it's time we have to let all that go and let ourselves to become free. And that's been yourself. Only you, the soul, knows exactly what's perfect for you. And that's what we need to get back into the soul, not listening all the time. I said, I wouldn't believe a single word I said, you know, but I'm just there explaining what I know. But you have to decide for yourself, isn't it? How you're going to put it together. So I'm only relating my experiences. That's all. It's not that it's true, is it? It might be true for me today, but I've seen me change my mind in a couple of weeks' time. Probably being goes mad because I keep changing my mind. But I says that's what I like to do. You know, if I find something better, then I'll think about that. You know, I might be churning something, and I was thinking, oh yeah. Like the other day, I was churning about. I was thinking, yeah, the Brahma Kumaris is the womb. It's my womb for my birth, you know. I'm taking through all that consciousness. I'm taking a new birth. I'm moving out of the womb. So I don't need to be that anymore, you know. I can be my new self, you know. So I've been born with all my experiences that I've taken over the last 50 years, sort of thing. So and it feels really good, actually, when you think like that. It makes you free from that. So now I realise that we are the advanced party, you know, but if we're still stuck in the womb, it's like the Mahabharat war where the other side they had to beat their children out of the mother, wasn't she? The children wouldn't leave. So they were hit out by a big stick, and it's like that's what's happening to us. We're going to get hit by a big stick. So, but you can take birth. That's freedom, like the Pandavas did. They were taking birth through beautiful, like those verses that the mothers said, and one's born through the different sort of wind and the rain and whatever, all the different aspects. Two totally different births. So we're the same as the BKs. You can live stuck in the womb of this whole consciousness because it's like a field. The Brahma Kumaris is a field, and we live. If we think I'm a BK and I'm living within that field, I have my own little field, but I'm a field within a field. It's like you come here. This is a field, the Brahma Kumaris Center, and we're all fields within the field now. So everything's in a field. That table's in a field. Its own little field. So, and it's generating, it's resonating its own energy. So now we can become, we're going to become free from the control. So we're in a crystalline time of grid now where everything, we have our own energy and we can be our own true self. Because that's what every Baba's taught, that's what Baba's been teaching all the way through, become self-sovereigns, be aware, and that's what it's about. But because he got stuck, he's probably teaching, all varieties of people, and he's probably going to, someone has to come up with what is true, what's truth. And truth is constantly changing, isn't it? It's not always, some people think truth is truth and it's fixed, and it's not. Truth for me today is going to be different for me tomorrow, because I'm different. Well, I hope I am. So, but the whole thing is, life is so entertaining, so really entertaining. And if you're bored, then you can just change it. Just with a single thought, you can change it. So there we go. Well, sorry. So how are you feeling in the experience? You have any practice of the soul presence? It's just a matter of thinking about it. I am present. It's like taking a breath. But that's all it is, basically, taking a breath and observing yourself. And a lot of people are having some nice experiences with us. They tell me about it, and it's going to be a good healing tool that you can have for healing yourself. So, not that we need to think about healing. And actually, I'm not even sick. Actually, you got to have that. You're not even. If you think you're sick, then you'll be sick. So, but you have to think. If I stay in soul presence, then I will be eternally healthy. That's why the deities are always healthy. They're soul conscious. They're consciously aware of their souls. The body will be eternally, incredibly healthy. So energy is serving consciousness. So if I'm lacking energy, that means my consciousness is somewhere else. I'm lacking my energy, see, because energy serves consciousness, which means communication. So energy is just communication. So we're talking, you're listening, and we're communicating. So that's energy, that energy exchange. That's all it is. But when the soul is light, it's different again, where the soul absorbs everything that's around. So all your experiences. So if someone run over your toe with the car, then you'll be jumping around and you'll be going, they'll give you good memory. It'll give you, cool. Yeah, so that'll give you a good memory. It'll be like on your time track. So it'll be there. Oh, someone run over my toe and ouch, ouch, ouch. But at least you won't put your foot in the way again next time, Yeah. Yeah, that's fun. Yeah, so soul consciousness and body consciousness, so being aware. So when you think of all the beliefs we've had thrown down us, from all the different religions, our parents and cultures and everything, and no wonder we're so mixed up, So, but we were the ones doing it as well, we're a child, we're living in this birth now, but we were once my great 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 grandfather, whatever it was. So usually you stay in the same line, taking birth through, generally speaking, but not for everyone. And so we've been in the churches or in the mosques or anywhere, giving people a hard time. And or you might have been an atheist. Some family might not believe in God at all, but they might be living a good life as well, you know. So it's not one who's free from all of that stuff is the lucky ones, you know, but still they'll have something. There'll be some family systems. Like I know in some of the Pacific Islands that they say it's okay to eat people, you know. So I think one of the kings ate so many people, 90 something people, something. So one of your children say, oh, it will sacrifice my daughter or my son off so you can eat him up for lunch today. Yeah. So that for some people it's terrible, you know, but for others it's a blessing, you know, it's like a joy for the family. Family will get, you know, great inheritance from that. So belief systems is just belief systems, isn't it? So, and it's just an experience. Once again, everything is just an experience, you know. So feelings is such a big deal, you know, because feeling is what goes into the soul and makes the soul experienced. So, okay. So we'll just have some little bit of meditation. We'll just sit silently. It won't matter if you go to sleep. So just be free. You can just close your eyes and just take a nice deep breath, because the breath is one way where you feel take a nice breath and you become present. I am present. I'm a soul in this body and I'm present sitting here. So just breathe in and I'm just observing, just looking. Doesn't matter, just for a minute or two, just look. Observe that I am sitting in this body. Nothing else matters. Just take another nice slow breath. Don't make it strenuous, and just when you're breathing in, just feel this beautiful golden energy that's going in with my breath. It's going into my lungs, into my heart, and my heart's pumping this beautiful golden energy all through my whole body to every cell. Every cell now is filled with this beautiful golden energy. Take another beautiful deep breath of this beautiful golden energy and how it's flowing to every cell in my body, from the tip of my toe to the top of my head. Feel it in your lungs, how it's glowing. It's beautiful golden glowing energy, and it's filling my body completely with this beautiful golden glowing energy. And just when you breathe out, just release everything that's not supposed to be there. We don't make any decisions. We just allow everything to move on that doesn't need to be there. This is the beauty in soul presence, is you just allow yourself to be present in the body. Body's not an evil thing. The body is for you to experience through. Without a body, you can learn nothing. Not that we have to learn anything, we're just experiencing things, that's all. We've experienced everything, so we can just relax. Let's take another breath. And relax. Okay. Om Shanti.